What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 114 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, and this week, Carl is actually in Indy already, so instead you get to put up with Swede. What's up, man?
Hello. Congrats, Carl.
Yeah, Carl is obviously going to go win Indy, so I feel like a replacement of Swede this week is a fair exchange for that, right? So what do you think, man? It's been like 60 episodes since we've had you on.
Oh God, was it the special, the 100?
It was
the 52,
year.
the 52.
Yeah, it was 52, right? End of year 1. We had all the mods come on.
Yep, that was it. So yeah, it's been a while.
I know we had Aaron come on this past week for RTT. Him and Jay came on, and we got to talk about the league and everything. And then we have you on this week, and yeah, I'm excited, man. It feels weird having all these different people on and everything, but at the same time, you know, I obviously really enjoy it. I love getting to talk to anyone and everyone in the community.
Yeah, I think the sweep for host meme is gonna kick off again, unfortunately. So yeah, sorry, Carl. You can have it back after this week.
So what are we actually talking about this week, man?
As you say, a whole lot of nothing. But Carl doesn't like to speak about Nuzlocke, so you know we said we'd do you said we'd do a Nuzlocke stream.
Yeah, for sure. So you know, there's literally no structure to this whatsoever. We'll still have like team of the week section near the end where I don't actually have a team ready, so like I haven't recorded with anything yet, so we're going to improvise and talk about how sweet a team is without actually getting to play it. So you and I both have our fair share of like Nuzlocke experience and various games and everything, including I know you've been working on playing Sinking Sapphire now. I'm still grinding away at Blue Kaizo. Blaze Black 2 Redux just came out. I started it a little bit. But you know, you and I have also watched a ton of like Pokemon challenges and his content and everything I know as well. And you know, there's a ton of different content creators I watch that are just like, all right, well, here's, you know, the monotype Nuzlocks that they do. If you watch like Madrybread, he does like single Pokemon challenges, which, you know, he doesn't do like Nuzlocks, but he does much more difficult per se. You know, beating a game with a Tentacool is way more difficult than, you know, something like, you know, just bashing your head in with fire types. But it's all relative to the game and everything else too. So there's a lot of nuances when it comes to Nuzlocking and a lot of like skills that can kind of also translate to VGC and everything else as well. I know something that I was really bad about there for a while. Aaron actually called me out on a couple different times when I was doing a lot of Nuzlocking and everything. In laddering, I would be too conservative with my Pokemon because I don't want them to die. So there would be multiple times he's like, yeah, you can just take the death there, take the free switch, and then, you know, clean up the end game or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, but then I lose my Pokemon. So like, you know, knowing, like, I think the biggest thing that you can learn from Nuzlocking for competitive Pokemon, specifically, you know, our VGC style here that we play, is probably like good pivoting. Obviously, I think the best, there's a lot of differences there as well, you know. Pokemon AI is very predictable and like how it plays and everything. And knowing how, like, being able to make similar reads against your opponent can be very advantageous for you. You know, making, well, they're going to go for a Max Quake, I'm going to switch into my Flying type. Something as simple as that is very pivotal and very advantageous for you because, you know, Dynamaxes is a very important skill to be able to use in the current format, and being able to take away a turn of that from your opponent for free is huge. So, yeah, there's a lot of layover between like the skill set and everything, and like knowing like move sets and everything of like how to line up against battles and stuff is very important as well. But what do you actually want to start with, man? I feel like I've rambled on here for a little bit about basically nothing and also a ton of like good information.
Yeah, basically just I think it also gets you to like creatively team build as well. So, you get given basically a set of good, okay, and bad mons, and you have to look at each of the major fights definitely and say, right, what have I got for Roxanne? Okay, cool, I've got a Mareep and three bug types. Yeah, so that's a reset. But you play it out anyway to see like what works. So in future runs, you can then take the good bits from what you've learned and put it into future runs. That way. But really, I think the main thing is what generation you're playing on and the different mechanics that go with it. So, for example,
Yes.
When you're playing Blue Kaizo, the switch in AI mechanic is a lot different to every other generation because
Correct. There is no switching AI because, the AI in that game always moves after you. It always does what it's going to do based on your decision. So there's no advantageous pivoting or anything like that. But at the same time, in games like, White or any other main series game, the AI is going to say, okay, I'm going to switch in because I see my Electrode has a KO on your War Turtle. Just throwing out Pokemon here. Thunderbolt is going to guarantee a KO 100% of the time here. That's going to be the attack I click. So,
yep.
Knowing how the AI works is a huge deal. Learning what items it sees, because that's something that like comes up in like I think like specifically Gen 5. If you're holding like a resist berry, the AI knows it. So, somehow it cheats and knows.
There you go. Computer cheats. Who'd have thought it?
Cheating AI is the best and also simultaneously the worst.
Running Sapphire, the AI doesn't know abilities until they're revealed as well. So
I believe so.
So you can definitely play around that as well. I think a big thing example is the obvious Watson fight, and he leads Electrode, and he has only electric type moves. So if you lead a Swampert, he instantly switches turn one, usually to Manectric, if off the top of my head. So you get a free KO, or you can set up against Manectric. So that's another thing. I think also for moveset wise, I didn't know this actually. I'm a cargo.
Yes.
From the big run.
Was that attempt 3? Attempt 4. Okay.
Attempt 4, yeah. So Macargo's flame body prevents mixed mons from using physical moves.
I did not know that. That's sick. That's so cool.
It's so weird. I saw it was can't remember what fight it was, but I do remember it used a physical, like a mon would use a physical move or prop flame body. I think Ludicolo came in, and I protected, and it used it had fake out, and it didn't use fake out.
It also could be that it saw a KO with like Scald or whatever else too.
Possibly, but
I wonder. I bet you could
almost always uses fake out. That's what I kind of got from the AI in Sapphire, is if it has fake out, it will do the priority move first.
I think that's true in almost every instance unless it sees a KO. I think you could probably easily test that with like static as well, just because like if they're wanting to prevent a static proc, they will just not attack it. And so like I wonder if that does like affect switching AI. But that should be pretty easily testable, I would think. That's not something that I've ever seen come up, so I really don't know.
We won't know until, because there's not a lot of mixed
True.
sets going about anyways.
But I know specifically just like trying to think about it, things that are like really unintuitive that happen. I know in specifically like Emerald, the switching AI is very, for the most part, it's pretty predictable with what it's going to do. In every instance, except that the last Pokemon exploded. So then, like, it bases every damage calc that it would do based on the last attack that was used, but changing the typing. So because Explosion does, is like base 250 and halves defense, the damage calc is going to be very high. A lot of those are going to overshoot the is going to overshoot the integer and therefore roll back to very little damage. So it's just going to send out the next Pokemon in order. For whatever reason, it's really weird. But there's a lot of like really wonky things like that. Healing AI is obviously something that you can abuse quite well as well if you know it. You and I also play with pretty much the same rule set of no over leveling, no items in battle. I always forget set because I just feel like that one is pretty standard. Like that one's pretty straightforward. Obviously, if you're a beginning Nuzlocke, these are not things that you have to do. The best advice I can give to a new player is something that Pokemon Challenges is repeated 100 times. Play the game you know the best. Start with the game you know the best and play it, and add in rules to make it more difficult as you go. If your first game, sure, play with items, play with switch mode, whatever. Play it to play how you want. Don't gatekeep people's fun. It's the simplest way to put it. That's something that I'm on attempt 50 something for Blue Kaizo now. I'm still having fun. Like the game is still enjoyable. If it wasn't enjoyable, I wouldn't be playing it.
Except Rock Tunnel.
Except what?
Rock Tunnel.
Rock Tunnel's at this point is just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like I'm so used to it. It's obnoxious, but like it's not that bad. Same with like I think the other big thing that like I was really set back with on what attempt was that? Was it 30, 33, 31, something like that? I made it to Silphco for the first time and just like proceeded to lose like 40 some Pokemon. Obviously not that many, but just a ton of Pokemon because I was not prepared because it was all new. 33. Okay.
Yeah.
And then proceed to have a giant drought until 49, which I wanted to wipe 49 at Koga. I lost my Snorlax right before Koga. I lost Gengar and I think Gyarados to Koga. Just like, well, this run is just dead. I can't go on. And that run went all the way to Lorelei. So just because you lose Pokemon doesn't mean the run's over. And that's another big thing that I will tell you now. Yes, losing Pokemon sucks. Eventually, you become just like... It becomes just another day. You just become so used to it that it's just like, well, that's really unfortunate. But I have, 4 other water types ready to go, so it's okay. So...
Yeah. I think that's another thing is knowing when to sack a mon and what mons are useful to sack as well, but not just have mons like Pokemon that are there to be sacked. As in like I'm going to take my Clefairy, it's going to switch in, and it's going to take this hit and die, and that's it. At least have a role for that Pokemon that you're going to sack. So in case X doesn't happen,
you can still pivot appropriately. Yeah,
you can still use it as well. I think one example for me is I had a Breloom with Poison Heal in I think attempt 3. What was that, attempt 4 as well?
I think that was also 4. Yeah, I think that was also 4.
And one good learning from it is I plan to sack it on the Shelly fight in Meteor Falls, which is the doubles battle.
Yeah, that fight is obnoxious.
It's so bad. But I got a crit on the muck, which means I didn't need to sack my Breloom. However, later on in Mount Chimney, yep,
Yes.
I fight Shelly again, and I forget to pre-poison my Breloom, and it dies to a roll. And it would have lived if I
had
had
you had you had
had
healed.
I had poison heal. Yeah, it would have lived.
And
I was,
that's something that you can actually do in like Nuzlocking as opposed to just like typical VGCs. Abilities like Quick Feet and Guts and all these that, like Marvel Scale, all these that require you to be status to take effect. You can abuse it and go in pre-poisoned or burnt or paralyzed or whatever.
it's so good, especially yeah,
I
especially when you want to avoid other status conditions
Correct.
as
That's
well.
something that comes up again. I've done it a couple different times against Erica, where she wants to put you to sleep or paralyze you, because then she just gets infinite free turns. Because at that point you don't have the Poke Flute, and even if you do, she'll just put you back to sleep because the AI cheats and says, "All right, well you're awake. I'm going to put you back to sleep." So just going in pre-poisoned just means, all right, well, Charizard gets a free KO here. If I don't KO, I take a Petal Dance back and it's no big deal. Or Dodrio gets to just Drill Peck the first 4 Pokemon and I win. Or God Drill gets to do its thing and just run over people. And I've done that. I know I've done it a lot against Erica. I've done it in one other fight. I think it might have been Koga.
Yeah, you pre-poisoned your Snorlax on Koga. I
Yes,
remember.
yes, because otherwise I could just like sleep locked against Gengar. So I'm just like, well, this is going to be the best way to do this. And obviously, the chip damage between like poison and burn is the same, but burn, of course, has the negative effect of having your attack. So on like physical Pokemon, that's obviously very terrible. So there's things there that you can like obviously abuse as well, using in later games. Using your abilities to your advantage is obviously very good. Something that comes up a lot against like Brawly and Emerald Kaizo is like Intimidate spamming it. Just like between Intimidate and Battle Armor, you're able to get all their Pokemon to -6 and then just eventually clean them up with whatever. You're playing around crits because you have Battle Armor. You're preventing them from doing any damage thanks to Intimidate, and eventually you win. You just have this inevitability.
Which is unfortunate in Sync and Sapphire because a level cap for Broly is 19, so I can't get a Gyarados.
That's like go ahead.
I was about to say, and even if I get a Gyarados, it comes out Moxie anyway, so
Have you had an Intimidate dose yet?
not in Sapphire. every other Nuzlocke I'll do, I had a Intimidate Gyarados, but not Sapphire.
Dude, Gyarados is probably... I think it's safe to say that Gyarados is the best Pokemon when it comes to Nuzlocking.
I think I can agree with you there. Yeah, 100%.
Because in the early games, it just has such a wide variety of just like move pools that it has access to, and like it has an okay typing. Obviously, its typing is not ideal, but for what it is, you can play around it appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas once Gen 3 happens and you get access to Intimidate, now it just has everything even better. And then Gen 4, it gets physical special split. So now it's even better than it was. Being able to use its stab waterfall off of its attack instead of its special attack is huge. Just, it does everything. It is so good at doing literally everything.
And if you don't get a Gyarados, any other Intimidate Mon is also really good as well.
Yeah, just like Staravia, Luxray,
Hey, that's my BDSP team. What are you on about?
Let's see. What else? I know like Stantler is like honestly better than people give it credit for, just because it has Intimidate. Like Intimidate and being an immune to a type like is good enough sometimes.
Yep, you got Arcanine.
Yep.
Stoutland.
Yeah.
Scraggy. Oh.
Yeah, Scraggy and Scrafty in the later games.
Yep.
Let's see. Obviously, like
there's a lot anyway.
I don't think I know there's like ROM hacks that will give you access to like hidden ability starters. I know like Drayano is pretty well known to be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, the Sinking Sapphires, anything can have hidden abilities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good lord, Crocodile. Like,
Kruko, yeah.
It and Gyarados are so similar because it's either Intimidate or Moxie, and like, if Intimidate's good, obviously it's insane. But if Moxie's good, you just you just sweep the team with one Pokemon.
And if you have Gyarados and Krook, you've got a super good defensive synergy.
Yep.
Where you can switch in on each other and still get the Intimidate drops.
Yep. The only like overlapping like weakness there, and it's not even a weakness, is like Grass. Grass is a neutral hit on Gyara, whereas like Krook takes super effective. But past that, like, I mean, it's just as good as it can be. I know Vintage White, I know in a couple different games they've taken away Sandstream from Tyranitar and either given him like Battle Armor or Intimidate, like both of which are just fantastic abilities.
So good. So good.
Because, Tyranitar isn't good enough on its own, so it needs a better ability.
And that brings another point where you said Battle Armor. Play around the crits.
Yes.
Don't do what I do. Do not do what I do.
Or, in the sake of like knowing the game's crit rate is also very, very important. Just game knowledge is by far the most important thing that you if you want to be a better player, learn the game more. Whatever game engine you're playing on is the game engine you need to hyperfixate and learn in and out so that you know the AI to the maximum. Because, the AI in Blue is very different than the AI in Gen 6. It is completely different. Knowing how, because in Blue, there is no like positive switching AI from your opponent. They just go in order. They go 1 through 6. Whereas I think it might be starting in Gen 2, they start like doing damage calcs to see what's the best switch in to come in and do the most damage. So, just
having a while ago.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually nuzlocked a Gen 2 game.
I did. My first one I completed was Soul Silver.
See, my first one I did was Omega Ruby. Was my first one I completed. And there was a large group of us that were doing Heart Gold Soul Silver a while back, and Carl and I were going to do a Soul Lock, and that went terribly because Bugsy is terrifying somehow. Guaranteed Geodude went in and still died. So, just as good as can be. I'm just trying to think like what other like abilities are just absolute, like just if you have this, you should be playing it as much as possible. Stuff like Water Absorb, Volt Absorb, Lightning Rod, things that give you an immunity are obviously very good. Let's see. Just looking here. What is Persistent? Oh, that's a Fakemon ability. Cool.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that's an ability.
Let's see. Adaptability, pretty decent.
That's pretty good.
Obviously, you and I both play with like full documentation, so like knowing like what Pokemon have what attacks and everything is pretty self-explanatory. But like if you're playing blind, stuff like anticipation can be pretty decent. Just like gaining additional information is very good.
Yeah, I think most of my Nuzlocke, I just have the major fights.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll have a list of maybe what mons they use, but I don't have move sets or anything. Like for like the trash, basically. So I wouldn't have move
The
sets. And
optionals.
yeah, especially in Sync and Sapphire because it kind of tricks you a little bit. So you think like with normal games where the trash trainers just have like the last four available moves on its move pool at a certain level. In Sync and Sapphire, no, it's and probably all the ROM hacks as well is they'll have specific move sets to the fight. So that might not even be moves that are on the learn list as well.
There's
Just
um like just trying to think about this here. There's like best encounters that you can possibly get. Like Gyarados is obviously like number one. Number two, I don't think there's really anything that like immediately pops out as like the second best.
like I would say Eevee. If you can get an Eevee,
Eevee's very, very good.
very good. Yeah.
I think a big mistake that people make is, oh, my Eevee's nature is adamant, therefore I have to make this a Flareon. No, just
No.
what does your team need? Do that. Nature does make a difference. IVs do make a difference. But in these games that I play, I don't play with EVs if I can avoid it. Like Blaze Black 2 Redux actually has a mode where you can play with no EVs, which makes everything on an equal playing field, and I think that's a very good thing, all things considered. Because otherwise, like you can EV train your entire team for the first gym and have, 3 or 4 stat points over your opponent. That early, that can be a big difference. So, I here lately have been a huge fan of moving away from games that have like EVs or just like removing them as a whole. I know there's a couple like Gen 7 hacks that I haven't touched, so I really don't know. But like base series games, from my understanding, like the Gen 7 games are probably the hardest, just because like trainers have fully EV'd teams, and that's something I'm really glad they did back in with BDSP was having your opponents have EV'd teams is very, very good and something you have to be prepared for.
And items.
Yeah, for sure. My BDSP, my hardcore Nuzlocke, I went in and I got to Cynthia, and I was deathless in the E4 up till then, and it came down to my Garchomp outspeeding hers, and I missed. And I could have easily wiped there. I was max speed on my Garchomp, but because my IVs were so bad, I was just not able to outspeed it, even though I was like 1 or 2 levels higher than it at that point. And so luckily Gara lived on like 4 HP and was able to Ice Fang it to death, but it was scary. I was at that point just going to go, all right, I'm done with this game. I have seen everything this game has to offer when the purposes of Nuzlocking. I'm okay not beating this one.
You got the dub.
I did. I luckily did get the dub.
Mic check.
Yeah, you're there. You froze up on me for a half a second, but you're here.
Yeah, I'm back now. Yep.
Like
good.
Unironically, I know a lot of the later games where abilities start coming into play and everything. Pelipper has access to Drizzle, and because water type Pokemon are so plentiful, you can just build like full on rain teams and just be like, yeah, this is fine. Because in most instances, you don't have access to like hidden abilities, but in like most of the ROM hacks, they make them accessible in some way or changing up abilities or anything else. But like in vanilla games, having access to like fully like synergistic teams can be very, very useful. Just like, and I'm trying to think like what other Pokemon off the top of my head have access to those abilities naturally. I know like Snover and Abomasnow have Snow Warning.
Ninetales, Vulpix.
Does it always have, like, it doesn't always have Drought, right?
It's like Flash, Fire, Drought.
Nope, hidden ability.
Or has it
Torkoal has it
Torkoal?
as,
Yep.
yep. See, Sand, we have Tyranitar, which is fairly uncommon in vanilla games. And then like Hippopotas.
Oh, yeah.
Gigalith is hidden ability, right? No, it's actually not.
No, it's
I
not.
did not know that. It's not like that in Gen 5, is it?
Um, can't remember. Actually, I don't think it is in Gen 5, no.
No, it's only sturdy. When did they switch that then? That's a Gen 7 change.
There you
Interesting.
go.
Really, really interesting. This
That would be probably the answer to more weather, because I think that's like Gen 6 when they did the 5-turn weather. That's right.
Yes, they moved away from permanent weather in Gen 6.
So yeah, that's another thing. If you play Gen 5 or before, if you have those abilities, you can really build your team
Yeah,
around
for
it.
sure.
If you knowing that your Pokemon or the opponent doesn't have a way to change the weather.
When did Pelipper gain access to Drizzle? That's actually really interesting as well.
Like gens.
I think it might be 5 or 6.
I was thinking 5 off the top of my head as well.
If I could find it. There he is. What do you got, Pelipper? Say, I know it's not in Ruby and Sapphire. It doesn't. It has Keen Eye. So when do they add it? Gen 5, they actually did not.
It was Gen 7. It was Gen 7.
Interesting.
There you go.
I actually would have thought it was before that. Maybe
that's when they changed a lot of the mons to have weather in Gen 7. Maybe they were happy the way weather worked from Gen 6. They said, yeah, you know what? Let's give some more Pokemon easier weather.
I might do that as like my next vanilla game is like a Gen 7 game. Dude, it's been so
Good
long
luck.
since I've played them. I haven't touched a Gen 7 game since I beat Ultra Sun. It has been so long. I'm gonna be so lost.
Yeah, I think Totem Pokemon, no.
Oh yeah, just like yeah, I'm excited. It'll be cool.
I think reminds me of another good ability. It was Fur Coat.
Yeah, that was in your
That was my ex Nuzlocke. Yeah,
yeah.
where Furfrou pretty much carried the whole way.
There's a lot of those that are pretty niche. We talked about Flame Body. Flame Body's pretty decent. Static is really good. Stuff like Friend Guard, even though like obviously is very good in VGC. There's not a lot of vanilla like double battles or triple battles. Obviously, once you get into like ROM hack territory, there's going to be a lot more of those. And I actually think that's like a really, really good thing that has been added. So after I beat Blue Kaizo, obviously I'm moving on to Blaze Black 2. I've looked into, I think it's called Wilting Y. It's obviously a Gen 6 ROM hack, but there's a lot of like type changes and stuff into it. Eternal X and Wilting Y. There's a lot of like balance changes and making a lot more Pokemon more viable. Kind of want to touch Vintage White as well, just because like it looks really cool on paper, having a lot of the older Pokemon be rebalanced to actually be usable, making like stuff like Electrode absurd, Kingler very good, stuff like that. I think could be really, really interesting. But there's obviously a lot of games and not a lot of time is the big part of it.
Yeah, always the case. Always the case. Especially when you're running 50 plus attempts.
Oh, good lord, man. I'm really I've said it once and I'll say it again. Blue Kaizo is by far the best like Nuzlocking game I've played, and I would not recommend it to anyone. It is so atrocious. I was telling we were at dinner a couple weeks back with my parents, and I was telling Dad about it. He's like, how could you possibly like bash your head against the wall that many times? And it's like, oh, well, you see, I'm a masochist. And mom overheard this. And she's like, I don't need to know that about my son. I don't want to know. I'm just like, what? Like, I don't quite think you know what, like, context you're talking about here. So now anytime, like, something gets brought up, she's like, is it because you're a masochist?
Yes, of course it is.
I'd be like, yeah, obviously. But yeah, so what else do you want to talk about, man?
Draft leagues. Let's talk about draft leagues.
For sure. So we already have a video up of Jay and Aaron and I doing a recap of RTT. But we haven't really talked about it on the show at all. Season 5 of it has started up. I'm really excited for it. My team looks great. Aaron, huge shout outs to him for drafting it for me, because I still don't have Discord on my phone, and that's a whole nother story for another day. It's only gotten worse.
Oh god. You can save that for Carl.
Yep. But yeah, my team's sick. If you want to hear my entire thoughts on that league, we have a like hour and a half video up last week that's already up and everything. Go check it out. Be on the lookout for draft league matches to come here in the coming days. Basically, they should be starting up basically anytime. So what have you gotten going on here lately?
So I've entered a Series 10 mythical draft league.
Okay.
Where restricted Pokemon are banned. So that means no Dynamax. And we allow mythicals. So we'll basically play on the Battle Tower rules set, because the Series 10 rule set obviously doesn't allow the mythicals.
Are they allowed in Battle Tower?
I think if you do the battle or some sort of special rule, there's definitely a rule set that allows.
Got it. Okay.
Mythicals to be like, it's like
I
just
did
like
not know that.
Can be anyone can play basically.
Got it.
But it'll be the same sort of like limited to level 50, but the Dynamax button will be there, so I've got to remember not to press it.
Oh yeah, because I guess you can't play actual like Series 10 rules because all the mythicals are banned in those.
Yep, and if I hit the Dynamax button, that forfeits the game. So
Awesome.
I really have to make sure I don't hit the Dynamax button.
Is this on cart or is this on Showdown?
This will be on cart. So I will probably end up streaming some of my games, or if
Awesome.
not, definitely just recording them. And so just look out for those. I'll post in the Discord when I'm doing them as well, of course.
Is this through Silphco?
This is yes, the Silphco draft. Yeah, SCDA.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the one I.
How is their draft structured? Are each tier based on like points, and you have X number of points you pick, or is it, each Pokemon is in a tier and you get X Pokemon from each tier?
Yeah, kind of a bit of both. So It was A to E tier, and you had to have so many. You had to have so many in each tier. So I think like 1A, 2B, 2C, 2D, and 1E. And then you had 30 points.
As flex points, basically.
As flex points, yeah. And you had 3 Pokemon
Got
and 30 points to use. So A tiers were like 20 points, B tiers were 10, C tiers were 5. I think, or something like that. No, it's like 20, 15, 10, 5, 0.
Got it. Okay.
So mix match, and then use your points, or don't use all your points, whatever, and then get 10 mons. So yeah, that's hopefully my team is probably up on the screen. Thanks to Carl's magic, I'm sure.
Actually, I don't know if he's going to be able to throw it up or not, just because of the layout we have. I don't know. I'm sure he'll figure it out. If not, we can talk about it here. So this is in like pick order, correct? This is from
this is pick order, yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, being a mythical draft league, I have to pick by choice. I pick my mythical first. Some people didn't. I don't know why, but there we go. So I drafted Keldeo because it was the 11th choice mythical that I wanted to pick. Yay.
What other mythicals were actually available in this?
I can't remember them all, but Zeraora, obviously, Marsh Shadow, Diancie's available, Mew, Celebi. Um, that's where it gets low for me now. I should really just look at the draft page, shouldn't I? Melmetal, Victini, Jirachi.
Is Victini obtainable in on cart?
I don't think it is, so you have to gen it in or trade it in somehow.
Got it. But like it's actually able to be in game.
You can, if you have it, you
Got
can
it.
use it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's Genesect. Volcanian's
Genesect, yeah.
Volcanian's not like legal, right? It can't be.
I don't think you can get Volcanion in
Same with like
in the game.
Hoopa. I don't think you
Same with
can.
Hoopa and same with Arceus as well. You can't get those in the game.
I don't think they can be transferred in.
They banned. Sorry, Zarude. Yeah, sorry, Zarude's available. They banned. What's the Steel Fairy one?
Magearna?
That's the one. Yeah, they banned Magearna because of its ability.
Like understandably so. Getting, +1 whenever a Pokemon's knocked out is pretty obnoxious. I'm not really surprised to hear that.
Yeah, especially when it's your own Pokemon that gets knocked out.
Yeah. You can do, explosion shenanigans and just get a free +3 on turn 1 or whatever. So this is Series 10, so no Dynamax, correct?
So no Dynamax, yep. So basically my whole draft, I thought, well, I like to play hyper offensive, so let's try in this draft play a little bit more defensive and see if I can just grind out games. So I've gone with like Grimmsnarl, obviously. I have the offensive option as well. It's got a huge attack stat, but
for the most part, screen, scary face, T-wave, foul play, spirit break. Yeah, the typical 47 attack Grimmsnarl set. Yes, I understand.
Yeah. slap things and set up screens. I drafted one of your favorites in Thwacky.
Dude, Thwacky is so underappreciated. It's actually banned in RTT, so I think the only terrain setters are Grookey. I don't remember if Pincurchin's actually legal. Does Weezing get neutral? Does Weezing get Misty's terrain, or is it
Galarian Weezing does? Yeah.
Coughing doesn't, right?
No. Because Coughing it's not the Galarian form. It's just the poison.
It has neutralizing gas, but no.
I think it's just like No, it gets levitate as well, doesn't it? So I think
yes.
Galarian Weezing has 3 abilities. So I can't remember what the third one is.
So yeah,
as in light from Coughing.
Yeah, neither of those are legal.
Like Pincurchin is the only electric terrain set apart from Tapu.
And then, I think Grookey is the only terrain setter legal. So trying to do unburden things gets a little more complicated because you have to either set terrain manually or trigger a focus sash or just a held item somehow to be able to do it. We were talking a little bit. Aaron has access to War Turtle plus Sceptile, so you can just absorb Bulb plus Aqua Jet, and then your Unburden's triggered, and then your +1 special attack and Leaf Storm someone to pick up huge KOs that way or whatever. So yeah, terrain is not very viable in RTT.
No. I mean, terrain is really strong. That's why I've got Wacky in.
For sure. Plus, base 85 attack is nothing to frown upon, especially when you're still, clicking Grassy Glide. It's still just good.
Definitely. And then next I picked my Unburden one, so I picked Drifloon because it's a favorite of mine from
it's
5.
It's something you've been playing for ever. It feels like, it's
for
good.
A long time. It's and again really defensive. I can burn people, strength zap them. yeah, and I can just go full special bulk and then start sapping strength, and I'm good. Uh, then I figured I kind of had a like slow team, really. So I went for Galarian Slowbro. I don't know why I didn't go Kanto Slowbro, but there we go. I think I just liked Galarian form because I have the shiny already.
Plus, Regenerator is really good. Like,
I'm a dinner, yeah. I
I
think
mean,
both
yeah,
Slowbros
they both
better.
have access to
Yeah.
it, but like, what would you rather have as a secondary typing of either poison or water? I think poison gives you less weaknesses overall. You gain ground, you become neutral to psychic, but like, yeah, it's actually pretty similar.
Yeah, it's okay. It's still bulky as well, of
Yeah,
course.
sure.
I think there is some stat. There is a little bit of stat change between the
Hmm.
two. I think I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think there is. But I'll go with that anyway. And then because it's draft, I obviously choose a hail mode, so Sand Slash and Abominable Snow because they're pretty cheap.
Yes, because every draft league needs a hail team.
Exactly right.
I actually had the option of like doubling up on weather and doing like Abomasnow or Auroras plus Sand Slash. I'm just like, those seem so lackluster. Like Auroras was really good last season when I played against it multiple times, but like Abomasnow, I feel like just dies to my sun mode. So like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't see me taking it a lot, but if I do manage to take it, it might be some like Trick Room Aurora Veil shenanigan. Uh,
There was a team that we talked about today that has like Beartic, Starmie, Abomasnow, and then like it had a couple different ways of like setting rain as well. So it's just like Beartic's really terrifying here
oh yeah.
because you never know which mode is going to be. It's either going to be Swift Swim or Slush Rush, and it's just going to outpace you and just punch you. There was another team
Oh,
that had like its only like fast mode was like Ninjask, which like obviously airstreams whatever, but also just like baton passing, like a sword
oh god.
stance, like plus one, plus sword stance plus one speed boost into like go lurk and just punching people. Like things that are just like completely unviable in other formats are just like good enough.
Mhm, definitely. Um, Rounding out my draft, I noticed Arcanine. I needed a fire type, and Arcanine wasn't picked. And this is like what round seven, six at this point
Three.
in my
Yeah,
draft.
this is seven. It looks like.
Yeah, 6 or 7. So I was like, oh, I'll have Arcanine. I still
Sure,
needed it.
why not? You know, yeah. Arcanine's
Thanks.
really, really good.
I'll take that. And then, yeah, my last two picks I'm not really fond of. I just needed to round something out, so I just picked Xatu as a second trick room. But it has magic bounce, so I could maybe catch someone out with a taunt or something.
Does it get Tailwind as well? I know
It does.
Sigilith
Yep,
gets both.
it
I
does.
couldn't.
Yep, Xatu gets both as well.
So like that actually helps us out quite a bit as well, just to give you
Yeah,
like an extra fast mode. Um, Obviously Magic Bounce is pretty okay. If I doubt it ever comes up, but like I've set rocks in draft leagues before, and like having Magic Bounce to bounce back the rocks could be useful. I doubt it's going to happen, but it could.
well, speaking of rocks, like I drafted Batang because that line gets access to Stealth Rock as well, and I thought maybe if I not taking Grookey and I thought, you know what, let's have a bulky Matang because its stats are really absurd for the second stage, I think.
I think I did it a couple different. I think I did it exactly once last season, where I brought Stealth Rocks and Spikes. Just like everything on their team could hold a sash, and I just don't want to deal with it. It's like I think we had Spikes on Skarmory and Stealth Rocks on Rhydon. It's just like we'll get there eventually. I never clicked it. It was just not
No.
relevant.
That's the thing with VGC because again, a lot of the matches are more fast paced, but
Hmm.
again, if I'm playing a lot slower and more pivoting style, um, rocks could be pretty good for me in a long game anyway.
Especially like rocks plus like roar on Arcanine just to like consistently make them take damage.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that like reverses like Trick Room reverses speed tier orders, but there's nothing that reverses like priority orders, right? There's no move that will make roar go first.
No, not unless you like copycat roar.
Okay. Lame.
And like prankster copycat or something like that.
They need to make another room move. You know, we already have Wonder Room, Trick Room, Magic Room. We need one more that reverses priority orders.
Oh my god, imagine that in VGC.
Like Fake Out goes last.
That's how to nerf Incin.
Yeah, there you go. It's no longer a problem when it doesn't do anything.
We did it, guys. We did it.
All you had to do was take away everything good about it, and it's suddenly not good. Team looks sweet. I'd be really interested to see like what the other the teams look like in the league to like actually have like a comparison. Does Thwacky get beat up?
No, I think my beat up mon is apparently only Grimmsnarl.
Awkward.
But I don't think I'm going to be running. I didn't pick it for justified stuff, and especially Keldeo, I'm not going to use it for justify because its special attack is way higher. And yeah, I can do. You know, oh, but sweet beat up gets an attack higher than its special attack. Yeah, but then I have to waste a move on beating up my Keldeo. Then it's probably just going to get slapped anyway.
The other argument of that is Arcanine also has beat up. Also has justified.
Yeah.
So they never know what's going to hit them. I didn't say it was good, but it is an option.
But yeah, but I think mainly it's there for Flash Fire if I bring Hill Mode because I can just swap in and just get a free boost. And I'm like, oh, look, my Heat Waves do a lot now.
Yeah, I have my like Trick Room mode is like Tangela plus Executor. It's like, well, that's really weak to like Heat Wave or Lava Plume or Eruption or just like, you know, spread fire move. So I'm like,
click fire move. Yeah.
I'm like, so here's Flareon with Flash Fire, gonna get somebody with it. I didn't say it was good, but it exists.
That's the thing with these kind of draft leagues as well. It's like you play in the meta isn't going to get you very far. You have to think. You have to be creative and think of off-the-wall techs that will surprise your opponent.
You obviously have not heard the RTT video yet because it's obviously not live as of recording. But one of the things that we really touched on is like these teams are meant to be played against each other. They are not meant to be built as a VGC team and go play on ladder. That's not something you're going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to play your Vulpix Executor team against Rinya Sun. That's just not something that's going to happen. Ironically, a couple of the guys in the league, actually, their power rankings is how well will the teams do against Rinya Sun?
Oh my god. See, that's what I don't like about when people do power rankings is because we play VGC, we think of it as a VGC team.
Correct.
When it's not, it's I have these mons. No one else can use these mons.
Yep.
How good am I against everything else?
I haven't been able to tell you. I desperately wanted to draft Shedinja, and Aaron told me no multiple times.
Oh my god.
So
ban him.
I don't have Shedinja because he refused to draft it.
Ban it. Ban Aaron.
We talked multiple times about banning Jay today too, so
Hey. But to be fair, I also had the option of drafting Shedinja and I didn't, mainly due to my glaring flying, dark, fire, and rock weakness. I was like, no, maybe it's not the right team for Shedinja.
No, see, it's okay. You have two justified mons and a flash fire mon, so you can switch in and get the free boosts.
Yeah, boost, baby.
So what have you been playing like Series 12 at all here lately?
Not since Liverpool. I kind of took a step back a little bit. I've played a little bit. I played the IC just like you probably. I took
Yeah.
Colossal and I did colossal things and got some dubs.
I played my games to get my shiny bird. Speaking of which, I need
Yeah.
to actually go claim my shiny bird.
Oh, there we go.
I have not done that yet.
And I think the next IC is what, next weekend? Or this weekend? Or it's already been at when the podcast comes out?
I actually don't know the dates for May IC.
There's no shiny bird anyway, so go enjoy your battle points or whatever they're gonna give you.
May 5th through May 9th.
So yeah, so this podcast. So good luck to everyone, or well done to people that have done well.
Yeah, it would have been this past weekend. It's the same weekend as Indy.
Yep. So well done, Carl, for winning Indy, and well done, random Discord member. Let's go. Let's pick someone.
Congrats to
I got Karibo.
Karibo won the IC. Congratulations.
Congrats, Karibo. Well done playing Rinya's son.
So, I think before we get out of here, we have, of course, Team of the Week to talk about. And I haven't recorded one because this week has been very hectic and I haven't been able to stream or record anything this week until today. And we're recording way in the future, so I really am not prepared. So naturally, that means we're going to look at the Team of the Week section here and pick a team and talk about it and see how good it is. I want to talk about Zordor's team because this is one I plan on playing, most likely. It does a lot of things I really like.
This is one that he would give me little bits about the team every now and again. I'm like, yeah, maybe not like that, but that sounds good. And his main thing was the Snorlax. Let's be honest. It's the Snorlax show here. I know you like the Eternatus.
Yes.
But it's the Snorlax show.
I like the Eternatus. I like Entei. Solgaleo's fine. Grimmsnarl's annoying. I really like this Thundurus set as well. And of course, we have Snorlax here. So I will have a better picture for Carl to put up because the one that Zordor took looks like he took it on his phone. So I'll actually have to load it up on the Switch and send it to Carl so he can actually use it to make it nice, neat, and organized. But this team was obviously very good, and I went like 12-0 in games with it and clearly am now number one on the ladder. And I can say these things because I haven't played it yet, and therefore it has to be true. I'm ready for Carl.
I'm pretty sure you beat 12 Rinja Suns and Wolf Glick to get to number one.
We beat Aaron Cybertron Zhang, Wolf Glick. Let's see, who else can we pick on?
Eric Rios, he's won a couple, hasn't he? So
yeah, he's pretty decent. Last time I checked,
that's all right. Joe UX9, he's a little bit washed, but
no, he was actually 4 of the 12 wins were against Joe.
Oh man, that's harsh on Joe, man. He has a family.
I'm ready for Carl to just have the thumbnail of how I reached number 1 on the ladder with this. And in reality, I go like 2 and 4 with it or something. But that's the glory of getting to record this in advance without Carl. I can just say these things and then it'll have to happen. He can't control me if he's not here. But yeah, so we have like AV Thundurus here. More importantly, Thundurus Therian. So like this actually is like a pretty decent check into like opposing Elekis or opposing Thundurus. Just having Volt Absorb is really useful. And with the Assault Vest, you actually have pretty decent bulk. Focus Blast is really interesting. I'm assuming this is so we can like max Thundurus and still be able to like give us buffs into Sokoleo and or Snorlax. Because
Yeah.
otherwise I don't quite understand Focus Blast. It's just not a move I ever want to click outside of Max.
Yeah, it basically is the +1 you kind of want to use it for your other mon as well.
Yeah,
I think
because we're special, we're not getting even a boost onto a Thunderous either. So it's like
no,
really just important to be with whatever we're paired with.
and because of Voltorb, I think Thundurus is faster than Charizard. If I
Okay,
remember
that's
rightly.
actually really sick. I believe that's correct.
Maybe.
I have Showdown open, so I can tell you.
Yeah, he's base 101, so he at max speed Thundurus, which I'm pretty sure this is, will outspeed any Charizard.
Perfect.
Um, and max lightning, I think KOs
It probably does a
because
solid chunk.
they're not running Recon Berry right now.
No,
Is it
they're
Recon?
mostly all
Sorry.
charty. Yeah.
Um,
Most of them move away from like Lum. I know that was the thing that was running around there for a minute, but I'm really interested about this Snorlax set,
and you can't be slowed down with Electro Web because you just absorb it.
which is also super hot. Eternatus here doing like Black Sludge, recover, like you're stall Eternatus, but you also just like Dynamax cannon people. Flamethrower here for like opposing Sashians because like you need something to be able to touch them, and they don't really do a ton into you, depending on like how this is built. And with us having recover and Black Sludge, I'm assuming we have quite a bit of bulk. Especially behind screens with Grimmsnarl, we should be able to live a ton of hits.
Mm-hmm.
Inte with Charcoal's Sacred Fire, so it's going to do a ton to basically everything. I'd be surprised if the Rinya Groudon takes that very well. Like, I know Blaziken can one-shot it with Flare Blitz.
It doesn't take it well. I'll tell you that for free. It really doesn't.
Like, I know Blaziken is one-shotting it with Flare Blitz, and this is charcoal-boosted Sacred Fire from Inte.
In the sun.
Correct.
Potentially.
Like, I don't think anything on the Rinya Sun team takes that well, including, but not limited to, Charizard and Gastrodon.
Yep.
Of course, we also have Bulldoze to be able to proc our policy on Sokoleo, and also just like as an additional form of speed control as well. Of course, we do have Protect on exactly Eternatus. Unfortunately, we can't like Bulldoze next to Snorlax. Of course, Thundurus is immune. Grimmsnarl is also gonna get hit, which sucks, but whatever. Like we're really only ever clicking Bulldoze next to Sokoleo anyway. Extreme speed to pick up extra KOs. Sokoleo, weakness policy, Sunsteel Strike, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Protect. Nothing overly exciting to talk about there. Babiri screens Grimmsnarl. I'm assuming behind screens with Babiri we live a like Adamant 252 Behemoth Blade.
Yep.
Okay, so then we can like T-Wave them and hope to make their life ruined.
That's the idea, at least, anyway. Yep.
What do you know about this Snorlax?
So Snorlax has thick fat.
Okay.
So it's again is really a son. If he feels that he doesn't want to run Thundy, he can just sit there with Snorlax and just max strike things to max replenish.
Hell yeah.
Into Oblivion.
Just get your
Seed
berry
Bomb,
back.
yep.
I love it.
I think he's EV'd Seed Bomb, like max overgrowth to Oko Kyogre as well.
Okay. Which I'm assuming also means it deals with like the Gastrodon appropriately.
Oh yeah, it destroys. And then Darkest Lariat just for Calyrex.
Yep. Okay. I would kind of like...
Yawn.
I kind of want like Max Quake on here just to be able to do something into like opposing Zacians, because I feel like we probably just died to them.
I think with Zacian, I don't think you lead Snorlax.
Oh, probably not.
No.
Like almost 100% of the time.
Rinya's son does have a Zacian, but usually they don't want to lead Zacian. They want to have it in the back to sweep. So usually getting your Snorlax out in front is fine.
Which is when Inte comes in and punches them.
Yeah, or Thundy.
Yeah, or either or.
But it's there basically just to stop firemons doing fire things.
I'm interested. I'm really, really interested. I'm gonna have to obviously have Carl make a really good thumbnail to show how good I am with this team.
Like it's really like this team is built primarily to deal with the Rin Your Sun matchup, but it does have like I don't think it has a lot of options to other types of teams. Like I don't see it doing well into Swordfish a whole lot.
Thundy's probably okay there. Eternatus probably can do like okay. Unfortunately, like your flamethrower is going to be really powered down against opposing Zacians that way.
Yeah, you're pretty much relying on your Solgaleo to like kind of carry you in that sort of matchup, I think. But again, it's Solgaleo. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good.
Which what's really unfortunate about this is Zacian will outspeed Entei. So like they can just do a ton of damage, and like depending on what else they have next to Zacian on the lead, they could just potentially like Oko your Entei before you ever get a bulldoze off. Because we are because we are charcoal instead of like scarf to mitigate that, but I'm interested in see how this team plays. I really am excited to play it.
And congrats on being number one in the ladder.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. See, when does ladder reset? Sunday. Well, that's unfortunate because I'm going to be recording the podcast Sunday. Interesting. So I had to record this tomorrow, which I don't even think I'm in Master Ball yet. So this is going to be a grind to number one.
Yeah, I don't think I made Master Ball either.
Whatever. I only ladder like once a week now, as opposed to like the 3 or 4 times I was there for a while. So it's just like, if I hit Master Ball, cool, whatever. My ladder ranking doesn't affect me mentally or physically, so I don't care. It's a hell of a way to live, I'll tell you that. All right, man. Anything else you want to hit on today?
No, I think we can wrap it up there if you like.
Yeah, I think so. We got, probably just over an hour after this gets edited down. So that's about where we like to be. So before I get to the outro, I guess we should probably have you plug all your stuff, so then I'm not, trying to rattle yours off and mine and so
and comments. Yep.
Yeah. So where can people find you? What do you do around the internet? All that good stuff.
So I have Twitter. That was a meme for a while.
About time.
So I am at SwedeW because my name is Will, so I just put a W on top of Swede.
Okay.
So yeah, follow me there. I don't tweet. I do tweet occasionally, but I don't tweet a lot. But come follow me. I'll follow you back and do Twitter things because I'm a noob.
You promise you'll follow everyone back who follows you?
I'll try to.
Okay. So
my phone
next
tells
week,
me someone followed me, and I just follow them back.
See, now I'm gonna go look up to see how many followers you have and how many you're gonna gain from this.
Oh yeah, I'm following 40 people and I have 42 followers. There's 2 people cool. I haven't followed.
Well, that's just rude.
Yep.
That's just rude to those 2 people. So, Twitch. You're also on Twitch. You were streaming literally before we started.
Yep. I am twitch.tv/Swede, and it's now _, so 3 underscores.
Why did you change it?
Yeah. Well, I was Swede_PS4, and I don't play my PS4, which someone noted in chat a lot of times. So I was like, you know what? I'll just change it.
So why _? I'm assuming just Swede is taken.
Yeah, Swede is taken. Swede of 1 underscore is taken, and Swede of 2 underscores is taken. So I
So
said, why not 3?
That's when you do XXX_Swede_XXX.
420. Yep. All that good stuff.
The old
Yep.
school gamer tags.
Yep. I'll stream Pokemon. I'll do Draft League streams. I play Unite as well. I play a lot of Final Fantasy. So you'll see me on mostly Final Fantasy. And Nuzlocke, of course, I'll stream on sometimes stream on Nuzlocke, sometimes if I don't. Sometimes I'll play off stream as well.
Yeah.
And just have music in my ears while grinding mindlessly to Roxanne again.
Just, the impending doom of grinding to Roxanne.
Well, this one was good. I had Swirlix, so yay.
Yeah, Swirlix is great. You're on your way to Watson currently? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on.
Because
Swirlix carried.
Swirlix single-handedly beats up Brawly. Just it
Literally,
decimates.
literally, I led Swirlix and I won.
I think my farthest attempt, I also had Swirlix, and I'm just like, man, this is bad. This isn't gonna do anything. And then I go to Brawly, I'm like, oh, this is just insane. Why didn't I do this sooner?
I also think that Broly's Machop is actual crit fodder because I've never not critted the Machop.
It's just meant to show you how crits work in game.
Yeah. I don't think I remember. I don't remember a run where I haven't crit that Machop. I no-code it.
That's insane.
There we go. Anyway, yeah.
Anything else on the way out, man?
No.
Okay.
I think that's everything. I'm a boomer.
All right, time for my stuff then, I guess. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at LRLessons, myself at Cardinal, at Mr. Missouri 25. Carl is at Musical VGC. Huge shout outs to him for 1, editing this on his short week, 2, for winning Indy, and 3, for just being just a fantastic co-host week in and week out. You can also follow us over on Twitch at Mr. Missouri 25 and at Musical. Come and join the community Discord. That's where you have access to getting to see us playing in all of our tournaments, playing all of our draft leagues, which BDSP draft league should be wrapping up this week, I think, or sometime soon. I know it's very, very soon.
Yes.
Did you? I was gonna say I was not involved, so I really wasn't sure. If you were involved either, so you weren't sure. Let's see. Go and check out the website, and while you're there, go check out the merch page. We have new merch up. I don't have my cup on me. I wanted to show it off, and I'm so bad at this. We have 20-ounce mugs now, insulated mugs, and dude, they look so good. They're really, really nice.
I might need to go order one now.
Dude, they're really nice. I was trying to convince Carl to make a pair of slides, because evidently that's a thing you can do now. He's like, no one's going to buy those. I'm like, I would. I would buy slides and wear them. But no, Carl hates fun and won't let me have fun stuff. But I think that's it. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're not following us on YouTube, go do that. If you're listening on any other platform, drop us a 5-star review. If you're on Apple, drop us a good review there, and I'll make sure I read it and tell you how amazing you are for doing so. I don't think I actually have any this week. I haven't looked. I'm so well prepared for stuff. I'm gonna say no. I'm too lazy to search. Look, man, I'm gonna record this week's podcast here a day.
You'll get them next week. It's fine.
Yeah, they'll be there next week. But seriously, thank you so much for filling in for Carl and everything, man. I do really appreciate it, and this is a really fun and enjoyable conversation. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.